It is a feeling so very hard to describe. When it's in our very souls, our hearts, and our minds. Feeling so helpless and mourning for those who lost their lives and their families for no reason we can name. Over the years, I've had the occasion to visit our schools and classrooms, and there is a pride and spirit in Santa Clarita that is very special. Saugus, you have a fabulous school with fabulous spirit and pride, and I know that you will not let anything take that away from you. We are all with you. Tonight and every single day, we are Saugus strong. I want to thank Sebastian Cazares, the student body president of College of the Canyons, and a Saugus High School alumni, and his partners who started the ball rolling on tonight's vigil. And now I would like to bring up student body president Andre Mojica for the pledge. And would you all please remain standing for the national anthem.
If everyone could please stand. If you are in uniform, please salute. If you are in civilian attire, please put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly read at the twilight's last gleam, bright stars through the perilous fight, for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streamed, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the
Now, please join me in welcoming to the stage the Superintendent of the William S. Hart Union High School District, Vicki Engbrecht.
Tonight we come together as a community in the wake of last Thursday's tragic and senseless violence at Saugus High School. Our hearts break as we offer condolences to the families of our students who lost their precious lives or were injured and will face long and arduous recovery. My heart goes out also to our young people who endured the terror of that day and have forever lost their innocence. In the face of unspeakable violence, we have united to care for each other and to begin the slow process of healing. knowing that none of us will really ever be the same again. The staff and students of Saugus High School are amazing. They should be honored. They saved lives. I commend them as heroes. Our first responders were more than outstanding, and I cannot thank them enough for their quick and well-planned response to this tragedy. And now I have the honor to introduce the principal of this incredible school, Mr. Vince Ferry.
On Friday, we as a collective staff at Saugus High School gathered and prayed for Gracie and Dominic. We prayed for their families. We prayed for our injured Addie and Drew. We prayed for many staff members, Mrs. Holt, Mrs. LaJusa, Mr. Clipfeld, Mr. Garrett, and a hero, Detective Dan Finn. All who went through way too much. This vigil is the first time I have spoken I will do it. This publicly words to be focused on Gracie and Dominic and their families. I want my first public words, and I know will be far too inadequate, to be heard by my students and my staff. This will be beyond hard, and I know I will need your support. Today, as with the past 3 days, Gracie Muehlberger and Dominic Blackwell are being prayed for by the world, the nation, the state of California, the city of Santa Clarita, but most importantly, by the Saugus community, the Saugus Strong community. The community's love and support that the families of Gracie and Dominic have been given, the love and support that our injured have been given, the love and support that the students and staff at Saugus High School have been given, has been greatly appreciated, deeply felt, and very much needed. Tonight, the most important part of truly being Saugus strong is to grieve together. Through our tears, our hugs, our words of kindness, our remembrances of Gracie and Dominic, we will become stronger. It is not the waving off of pain. Strength is the ability to welcome our tears in the midst of pain. Through our community strength, we will be able to provide the Muehlberger and Blackwell families with the strong shoulders they will need to lean upon. The students and staff of Saugus High School, students and staff across this valley, I believe the Muehlberger family and the Blackwell family would want me to express that this senseless, tragic day is not how they want Dominic or Gracie to be remembered. It is not how they want our Saugus High School community to be remembered. We must remember Gracie and Dominic for who they were: loving, selfless, happy young people. Through our courage to grieve and grow stronger, and through honoring Gracie and Dominic, we will remember the Saugus High School community not for what happened to us, but for how we recovered, how we grieved together, and how we became strong, Saugus strong. In time, not tonight, we will be able to discuss and look back on the acts of heroism demonstrated by many students, staff, first responders, and neighbors. But for tonight, we are here to grieve the loss of 2 teenagers, two friends, 2 students, 2 siblings, and 2 children. Tonight we grieve for Gracie and Dominic and have hope for the healing of our community. Now we will begin our remembrances as we hear from several members and friends of the Muehlberger and Blackwell family. Please be present as they speak. Provide them courage as they share, and help hold them up with strength and love. We are first going to start by hearing an audio message from Ada Cagley, who is the definition of Saugus strong. She is at home recovering from wounds, but most importantly, she's one of Gracie's best friends.
My name is Addison Kegley, and I am a Saugus Centurion, class of 2023. I wanted to let everyone know that I am doing well and I am at home with my family. I would like to thank the students, teachers, and staff, and the first responders who literally saved my life on Thursday. I also want to thank the amazing doctors and nurses at the staff of Providence Holy Cross. You guys rock! To my friends and family and my Saugus Strong community, I really appreciate all of the love and support. I am so thankful for each and every one of you. I wish I could be there tonight, but I'm just not quite ready. But I wanted to tell you all a few things about my best friend. I have known Gracie Ann Muehlberger for 6 amazing years, and I know pretty much everything about her. I've only known Dom since about September, but it's felt like a lifetime because we're fast friends. Both of these about them. Gracie was unique, and she cared about others the way no one else could. Just by being around her was one of the best feelings in the world, and I wish I could be around her just one last time. Gracie was silly, kind, smart, loving, caring, and beautiful on the inside and out. I have more memories with Gracie than I honestly do with anyone. All of the dances we made up, the performances we did, the lemonade stands we did to try and make money. Gracie was my childhood. She taught me what real love was, and that if I wanted something so badly, I could do anything and everything to achieve it. Gracie had the biggest heart you could ever imagine. She could read me like a book. She would make sure I was okay, and if I needed anything, she would get it for me as soon as possible. I spent so much time with Gracie, I practically lived at her house. I personally considered Mr. and Mrs. Muehlberger to be my second set of parents, and they are so amazing and so great to me, and I'm so beyond grateful for them. All of the inside jokes, nicknames, shows we loved were my favorite memories. There was one day where we decided to watch Barbie as a throwback, and we ended up loving it so much that we just kept watching it. We would stumble over our words and make those silly words nicknames. Gracie was one of the best people I've ever met, and she changed my life for the better. I love her so much, and she was the best 6 years of my life. Dominic and I have known each other for a couple of months. However, we grew very close very fast. Dom had a great soul, a kind heart, a loving spirit, and so much more. He could put a smile on anyone's face with just his silly looks, and he could make my day within a second. Dominic was such an amazing person, and I will miss him every single day. My family and I thank all of you for your wonderful love, support, and prayers. I promise each of you that I will make something amazing out of this horrible situation. Gracie would have wanted me to. We've got this. Saugus strong.
from Addie. Now we are going to hear from another one of Gracie's close friends, Chloe Rogers.
I'm not quite sure. Gracie. We became close in 8th grade, and we mainly bonded because of our style and had a lot of the same clothes, but I had no idea she would ever mean so much to me. I would always look forward to seeing her because I knew singing, dancing, quoting vines, and showing each other memes and videos was in the future. In PE, we would often hide out, find a whiteboard, and make a countdown until the days we left to go to Washington, D.C. together. We'd draw pictures and leave a quote of the day for the PE teachers. We spent in D.C. brought a lot of good laughs about the smell of dank mongoose, the bus rides, or just messing around like always. Although her jokes were stupid, her laugh was the best part. Her laugh just made you laugh harder. She wasn't all laughs, though. There were a couple of girls who were always rude to us and gave us dirty looks. But Gracie being Gracie, she told me that we need to ignore it and continue being ourselves. She also helped me through, at the time, was the hardest part of my life. Thank you, Gracie, for always making me feel better. And thank you for the sleepovers that were filled with making TikToks, eating Chick-fil-A, and looking at clothes and, of course, laughing. I'm so grateful that my last moment was spent with her, full of jokes and smiles. She kept slightly pushing me, and I kept giving her a look. Eventually, I pushed her back and accidentally hit her nose. Addie and I played with her, saying there was like a huge lump on her, and she was laughing. We also came up with the word disgracie. I'm really going to miss her coming over to me at lunch and just to hang out and talk. Although I'll continue praying to her, it'll be in person and telling her everything that's happening. I don't know if I told you this enough while you were still with us, but I love you so much, Gracie. And thank you for bringing your light into my life. I'll miss you.
Thank you, Chloe. Now we're going to hear from Gracie's brother, Riley Muehlberger. He is supported by his brother, Brady.
Gorgeous, radiant, angelic, caring, and energetic. Dear Grace, to my favorite woman, my little sister, the best sister I could have asked for. This feels like I'm writing you back from boot camp, and you were talking to me about your boy problems. That was when I started to realize that you were growing up. I watched you grow more and more every day. It made me feel on top of the world when you left me, when you said you looked up to me when I graduated for Saugus and left for the Navy. When I went through boot camp, I only expected Carter and Jade. But when I got to the hotel room and to see you and Brady walk through the door, it felt like home away from home. You wanted to hang out with us because maybe you thought that I finally became as cool as you. It felt like my little sister was not so little anymore. You wanting to be in the presence of us, just you hanging out and not wanting to do your own thing, is a memory that I will cherish forever. It's unfortunate that I only had those 2 days with you before I had to fly down to Florida to start a new chapter in my life, while you were starting an important chapter of your life, high school. Time passes and you are finally in high school and figuring yourself out, trying new things and new styles. You were cool. Compared to me as a freshman, I had nothing on you. You had me beat by miles. My freshman year, I literally hid from people and had maybe 3 friends, while you had so many and seemed like the coolest freshman out there. Fast forward to the week of your 15th birthday, on October 10th, and I had the opportunity to come home. But I didn't know if I really wanted to spend $1,000 on a plane ticket to come home. I'm forever grateful that I did. I texted you saying that your present was coming in the mail and that would be here in a couple of days. Later for you to find out that at your birthday dinner, I was the present. And I was coming home to you to surprise you. At dinner, I came up from behind you and you had no idea. I put my hands on your shoulders and you turned around in such a surprise and were so happy to see me as I was to see you. I've never seen such a big and beautiful smile come from you. I only had 4 days back home, and I'm so happy that my last memory with you was giving you a big hug at 5 in the morning down my normal life. I woke you up and hugged you, and you hugged me back even though you were half asleep. I never could imagine that this hug would be my life. My favorite thing about you, Gracie, was how funny you were. You would always be able to put a smile on my face, and that's one of the many things I'll miss the most. If it was you making fun of me, it made me laugh. Thank you for being the best sister ever. I wouldn't want anyone else. Until I see you again, I love you, Gracie.
Gracie's very fortunate to have those two as brothers. Finally, on behalf of Brian and Cindy, the parents of Gracie Muehlberger, we will have Miss Stephanie Tucker and Heather Solomon to share their words.
A personal letter from the parents of Gracie Muehlberger, written by her dad. As Cindy and I struggle with this most painful of all struggles and this horrific tragedy that has occurred to our beloved Gracie, there's a lot of noise out there, so we wanted to push the noise aside and pause and use this opportunity to share with you a little about our baby girl, Gracie. Gracie Ann Muehlberger on October 10th, 2004. Gracie was born in St. Louis, where she attended Fairway Elementary, then raised from 2nd grade until 9th grade in Santa Clarita, California, a place we now call home. Gracie was one of 3 children, the only daughter of Cindy and I. She has 2 wonderful, courageous, and loving brothers, Riley and Brady. who both absolutely adored her. This is Gracie. Her oldest brother Riley recently graduated from Saugus High School in June 2019 in the U.S. Navy. Brady is a junior and was under lockdown when this horrific event occurred to his sister, their friends, and all their classmates. Gracie looked up to both her brothers. She was very close to both of them, often hugging them and giving them kisses, even when they thought it was gross. She would do anything to support them and often told us how very much she loved and cherished them. This is Gracie. We called her Sweet Pea from a very early age, and she loved the nickname, often referring to herself as Daddy's little Sweet Pea, and often signing her little note cards and notes with "Love Gracie, aka your Sweet Pea." This is Gracie. Gracie loved to dance and sing and entertain. She was a natural performer. From pink tutus to plastic princess shoes, she was always singing and dancing. And as time went on, always wanting a camera in front of her. This is Gracie. She played soccer as a little girl for a short while, but eventually fell in love with dance and did that for a number of years. She eventually left dance to do gym cheer and competed with the California Flyers a few years where she met a number of great friends and had a ton of fun. This is Gracie. As she grew up into a young woman, her mom would often take her to get her nails done or hair done and go shopping. Cindy and Gracie were the very best friends and so very much alike. From their beautiful blue eyes to their infectious smiles and a little bit of craziness, but most of all the love and shining light they put on others. This is Gracie. Gracie loved to be with her friends, especially Addie and Sophia, two of her closest friends, but she loved all her friends the same. There were so many that touched her life. This is Gracie. Now Gracie knew what it was like to not always be one of the popular kids, and knew what it is like to be one where at times others didn't want to play or talk to her. Yet she always remained so strong and held her head high and would always extend a hand to the best of all. She did it with a smile and confidence that shined a light on everyone. There are so many stories of people who shared how Gracie touched their lives. This is Gracie. We recall all the sleepovers and times when many of her girlfriends would be over. As any of you that have daughters can attest, when a girl is hanging out with her friends, the volume in the house can sometimes be quite high, whether because of the loud music or the laughter or the giggles that little girls make. The sounds of her laugh and that of her friends would fill the house. As parents, we often get upset about the noise during the moment, asking them to quiet. But now, during a moment like this, all we really want to hear is her laughter and those giggles filling the house, and see that big, beautiful smile, or feel the warmth of her lips kissing us on the cheek. This is Gracie. Gracie loved going to Starbucks. We feel like we own a piece of Starbucks with how much we have invested there. She has to be the most loyal customer of the Grande Caramel Frappuccino anywhere in the Santa Clarita Valley. Gracie would find a reason at every chance she could to go to Starbucks. We'd say, go ride your bikes with your friends or something. And she would say, good idea, we'll ride them up to Starbucks. Or the first day of school, let's go to Starbucks. Or it's Friday, let's go to Starbucks. Or before church, let's go to Starbucks. Or on almost every day after school, she would ask her mom to take her and Addie to Starbucks. and more often than not, Cindy would oblige because Gracie would always find a reason. Even on Wednesday evening, the day before the incident, and as Cindy was prepping for her ACL surgery Thursday morning, Gracie was able to talk her mom into Starbucks once again, stating the reason as a good look on your surgery and getting all better drink. This is Gracie. Gracie was a freshman in high school at Saugus High School. She was only barely 15 when this tragic event occurred. She only spent 14 weeks in high school. It's just too short of a time. She was getting her next phase of life started. She will never get to drive a car or go to her first formal dance, which she was already planning to do for the Sadie Hawkins dance scheduled for Saturday night, November 16th. She was looking forward to shopping for her dress Friday night. This is Gracie. She will never get to find a loving boy, fall in love, get married, have a family, or raise beautiful children, and she will never get to find her passion in life for a career. Feeling it might be in entertainment at some point. We will never get to give our daughter away to the man of her dreams or see her in her wedding dress. I could have never imagined that there would be a last I love you or kiss goodbye, or a last Christmas or birthday or dinner out, a last kiss before going to bed, or a last talk or hug or smile, a last joke, last laugh. It all came too soon. It's just not fair and it makes no sense. We continue to pray to understand the whys, but there aren't many answers right now. On the morning of this tragic event, we have a video of her leaving the house on the Ring doorbell. We can see a beautiful, confident young woman on the rise. Her hair and makeup was done up perfectly, unlike many mornings, and even pulled back with a small braid across the top. She left with a pep in her stride, like she knew where she wanted to go. You could tell that this day was special and was going to be different. She was wearing her favorite new outfit and left the house ready to go to school with her head held high to take on anything that the day was going to throw at her. This is Gracie. Nobody could have imagined what would unfold that Thursday morning at 7:38 a.m. That two innocent and precious souls and the lives of so many would be rocked forever.
We want to give our thoughts and prayers to all of this horrific tragedy. Dominic Blackwell and his parents, Frank and Nancy Blackwell, who we will be forever connected to. Addie, one of Gracie's best friends, who was also injured in this terrible event. Addie's parents, Brian and Lindsay, as well as Mia and Andrew. Her friends, Sophia, Chloe, Gia, and Charlie, as well as so many others. Principal Vince Ferry, the whole student body at Saugus High School, the Santa Clarita Sheriff's Department, and all who we hope to meet individually over the coming months, and to Detective Daniel Finn, who was the first one on the scene and by my daughter's side when she lost her life. We will all be forever connected in a unique and powerful way to all of these individuals. Please remember all of them in your thoughts and prayers, and most of all, remember our little sweet pea and baby girl, Gracie, who will be forever a part of Santa Clarita Valley and our lives. Gracie will remain alive in our hearts and the hearts and minds of all of you and the rest of the world. Fly high, baby girl. Go dance with Jesus, and your legacy will live on forever. We won't stop until our last breath to memorialize you in the way that you deserve and to ensure the way you lived your life is remembered by all. If you want to share your thoughts and prayers, please tag them with hashtag Gracie Strong, hashtag Dominic Strong, and hashtag Saugus Strong. Thank you.
Thank you, Steph and Heather. Next, we're going to hear from Emma Bartels, a close and personal friend of Dominic Blackwell.
I met Dominic when I was in the 7th grade. He was always really happy and goofy. There was never a time when we hung out and we didn't laugh. He was funny and he would tease me about me being blonde, and I would tease him about being short. He would give me a hard time about my rank in ROTC, and I would give him a hard time about his excessively bright Nickelodeon backpack. We would talk and joke in between classes so much that he would pass his class and walk me all the way to mine. He'd have to walk all the way back to his class, but that was just the type of person he was. Dominic and I had 2 classes together this year, English and ROTC. Every day in English, he would race to pick up my cell phone out. I wanted to give it to me. He was mostly doing it to be funny, but truthfully, he was doing it because he's just a really good person. Dominic was smart, kind, funny, always willing to help his friends. I'm going to miss him. I'm going to miss his infectious smile, his sense of humor. It will be a long, painful walk to class without him on December 2nd. My heart breaks for his family and for the pain that they're going through. Nothing can replace his loss, and no words can heal our hearts. But we can honor him by remembering him. We will not move on without you, but rather to us and remembering all the good times we had together. We love you, we miss you, and we will never forget you.
Thank you, Emma. Speaking to us next is Joshua Morthy, another close friend and fellow ROTC cadet of Dominic Blackwell.
I knew Dominic since he was 5 years old. He started kindergarten with my 2 younger siblings, and he lived 2 houses down from mine. When we were younger, we used to play around the neighborhood together. He always had the biggest smile on his face and was big and kind. He carried that same energy and compassion with him through the years. As a cadet, he was always a motivator. He did his best to keep everyone in a good mood. He was always seeking opportunities and helping other cadets who were struggling with their marching or their uniforms. He did all of this with that same huge smile. He was the kindest and happiest person I ever knew. I used to wonder how he could keep up with such a positive attitude, and now I know. It was his purpose to brighten everyone's day. He was a great person, and as his friend as well as his squadron commander, I am proud of the young man he had become. You were taken much too soon, Dominic. We miss you. Fly high, brother.
Thank you, Josh. Finally, speaking on behalf of the Blackwell family is Chris Raniag and Angie Davidson.
Good evening. I'll be speaking about my nephew, Dominic Blackwell. Dominic was the first baby in our family. First experience of newborn joy. Naturally, our family came together from all over. Newest edition. Since Dominic entered this world, he's brought love and joy to everyone he's encountered. Dominic was an extremely funny boy. From the time that he was 4 years old, Dom would purposely call me my brother's name just to get a rise out of me. I was thoroughly enjoyed being heckled by a 4-year-old. When Dominic's siblings began arriving, he was quick to assume his role as a big brother. Full of love and a strong sense of duty, Dominic guided his 3 brothers as best he could. Dominic had no reservations about changing diapers and keeping his brothers out of trouble. It was impressive to watch Dominic mature into a young man. Dominic immersed himself in extracurricular activities, playing football, joining JROTC. Dominic was an active young man. People say things happen for a reason. Why this happened is beyond me. But I will say this. Since this has all happened, we have experienced the most love and support that I have ever witnessed. Strangers from all over the country reaching out in support and offering their assistance. I've always had a saying, but never has it hit so close to home. God picks special people to do special things. Now more than ever, I see these words to be true. Is it possible a 14-year-old could unite hundreds of thousands of people across the country? Bring an entire community together. Reconnect families that haven't seen each other in years. In these dark and painful times, let us look forward towards the light and acknowledge the everlasting impression Dominic has left on all of us. We love you, big boy. Thank you.
Chris is taller than me. Sorry. I'm Dominic's aunt. I'd like to take this time to talk about some of the painful and tasteless comments that our family has had to endure online. Our family is asking for a moment of silence, to silence the assumptions, the excuses, the blame on circumstances that we can never know. There's no justification for the decision to take innocent lives. 2 beautiful humans with incredible futures were violently ripped from this world. There will never be any way to rationalize that. Our family will never
get Dominic back. We'll never see his smile or hear his laughter or hold him ever again. He has 3 brothers, one that will always remember memories, one that will remember his Dommy and his face, and one that will only know him through us and the stories that we're able to share. He's gone forever. We are broken. So please give us all a moment. Please remember the 2 precious lives that are lost. Remember both our Dominic and Gracie. Thank you.
At this time, I asked Saugus High School's ASB President, Andre Mojica, to say a few words on behalf.
Hello, friends, families, and fellow centurions. It is so difficult right now to put into words the emotions that we are all feeling. I feel as though as I have no words to describe how we're doing, yet at the same time there's so much that I want to say. But what I can attest to is how grateful I'm so grateful for this community that we have built. I'm so grateful for our first responders and the hospital staff and all those that have been working so selflessly. I'm so grateful for this opportunity to represent Saugus High School and our students, especially Dominic and Gracie, whose spirits are looking down at us from above as we enter this time of healing. While I unfortunately did not know them personally, what I do know is that they were known for their compassion and relentless kindness. I pray every day that we feel this compassion and kindness. Something to remember is that Dominic and Gracie were leaders on the Saugus campus. Leadership, as I've learned, is as simple as being a loving and sympathetic friend to all, and as many can attest to, Dominic and Gracie consistently displayed these traits. At this time, I implore you all to be leaders. As my ASB advisor, Mr. Jeremy Fananoy, says, leadership is 24/7. So as much as you can, please hug each other, comfort each other, love each other. Today is pain, but tomorrow is purpose. The road to recovery is not easy, and it's going to take a lot of time before we feel warmth and energy once more. But I am confident that the sun shall rise on us once again. As I've said countless times before, us Saugus Centurions are the most courageous and compassionate people to grace this planet. And for right now, we are all Saugus Centurions. We will be okay. We are resilient. We are courageous. We are loving. And most of all, we are Saugus strong. Please, take care of each other and yourselves. I love you all so, so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Andre. I know I can speak on behalf of the students. I needed those words, those strong words. Well done. Next up, we have the honor of welcoming a newly formed Hart District Choir that will be performing for us right now.
I have a request that I don't know if it, oh, thank you so much, Mr. Ferry. I'm not sure if this request is possible at all, but there are many members, hundreds who rehearsed with me here ready to sing. And I was wondering if everybody except for those choir members had the ability to sit. If you could sit, if you are not in the choir, if you are able. I know there may not be space. I know that you may not be able to sit, but if you can sit and those in the choir could remain standing, and if you cannot, that is okay also.
No, I can't either.
Okay. We would like to dedicate this song to the victims of this tragedy, to Gracie and Dominic, and those injured, Andrew, and Mia, who's part of this choir family, and Addie, who will forever be part of this choir family from this day forward.
My name is Cameron Smythe, and I'm proud to serve as the Mayor Pro Tem here. I've never been so proud to be a part of the Santa Clarita community. Absolutely. From the time the first call was made Thursday morning, the eyes of the nation turned to Santa Clarita. And what they saw was a community one another, who then supported one another, have lifted up one another, and have loved one another. And so I can think of no better way to show the rest of the nation tonight as we light up well over 10,000 glow sticks in the colors of Saugus High School that we are Santa Clarita and we are Saugus strong. Absolutely. Let's raise those glow sticks up now. I wish you all could see the view that I see. It is breathtaking. At this time, I would like to invite up Pastor Rusty George from Real Life Church to offer some words of inspiration as well.
Let's pray together. God, you have told us that you are close to the brokenhearted and those crushed in spirit. And that is who we are this night. We are brokenhearted over this tragedy. We are crushed in spirit by what has taken place. We feel like a part of us is lost. And we need you. We cry out and we ask you to heal our valley. And as the nation does turn and look at us, they would find a community that puts aside differences and locks arms and walks into this together and finds hope and strength from one another and demonstrates the love of Jesus towards one another. That we would be a community filled with those that love others the way that Jesus has loved us. And so make yourself so well known in this community as we seek to find healing. We pray for the family members, the first responders, the teachers, the students. We pray for our entire community. And we wait to see you do your finest work at this moment in uniting us together. And we pray all of this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Be still, my soul, the Lord is on thy side. Bear patiently the cross of grief or pain. Lead to the God to order and provide. In every change, He faithful will remain. Be still, my soul, thy best, thy every friend. Through thorny ways, leads to a joyful end. and thou shalt bear